Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has expressed the opinion that Congress ought to permit stablecoin companies to offer interest payments to their users. A prominent U.S. lawmaker has rejected Coinbase's request for the introduction of interest-bearing stablecoins. Circle has announced the hiring of J.P. Morgan and Citi, with the intention of filing for an initial public offering (IPO) in late April, as reported by Fortune. Furthermore, Bloomberg has provided commentary on how tariffs are causing disruptions in the Bitcoin mining supply chain, which is heavily based in Asia. NYC Mayor Eric Adams' legal case has been dismissed with prejudice, even though the Trump administration had requested the option to pursue prosecution later. Mayor Adams has decided to bypass the Democratic primary and will instead seek re-election as an independent candidate. The Hill has noted that both Vance and Harris are considered leading contenders for the 2028 White House race. In other news, Mike Pence is set to receive the JFK Profile and Courage Award for his role in certifying the 2020 election results. 7 months ago, Vance reiterated that he would not have certified the 2020 election if he had been vice president. Furthermore, a year ago, a witness testified that Trump had warned Pence that certifying the election results would be detrimental to his career.
In the United States, the number of people struggling to afford healthcare and medication has reached an unprecedented level. A study indicates that the wealthiest individuals in America have a life expectancy similar to that of the least affluent people in Europe. Hong Kong has decided not to impose restrictions on the amount of screen time students are allowed, despite growing health worries. The FDA is anticipating a reduction in the number of inspections for food and drugs as a result of layoffs, according to officials. In the United States, multiple federal agencies have initiated a deferred resignation program to motivate employees to resign from their positions. The White House has stated that Musk will remain in his role until he finishes his mission related to Doge.
Amazon and the founder of OnlyFans have submitted final offers to purchase TikTok as the deadline in the United States approaches. TikTok for Artists is being evaluated as President Trump considers a proposal for a TikTok America. Additionally, statistics reveal that more than 90% of student suicides in Hong Kong involved individuals aged 12 and older.
Beijing urges HSBC to assist in enhancing relations between China and the United Kingdom, as well as to elevate Hong Kong's reputation. The acquisition of Discover by Capital One has successfully passed a review by the Department of Justice. Denmark's Maersk has acquired the Panama Canal Railway Company.
A 55-year-old underwater camera trap, originally set to capture evidence of the Loch Ness Monster, has been discovered. Ancient DNA analysis has uncovered the existence of a previously unknown human tribe that once inhabited the Green Sahara. Furthermore, Amazon is set to launch its inaugural batch of Kuiper satellites on April 9.
Oracle has informed its clients about a second recent hacking incident, during which login credentials were compromised. It has also been reported that Oracle attempted to conceal this significant cybersecurity breach from its customers using the Oracle SaaS service. TikTok is facing a potential fine of €500 million due to its data export practices between the EU and China. Furthermore, European law enforcement has successfully dismantled Kidflix, described as one of the world's largest platforms for pedophiles, through a collaborative operation.
Ford plans to provide employee pricing to all customers in the United States for the upcoming 2 months as new auto tariffs are implemented, leading to an increase in car prices. According to a former Ford CEO, this price hike is simply a matter of mathematics. It has been reported that Tesla currently holds $200 million in Cybertruck inventory. Furthermore, Xiaomi's electric vehicle division is set to deliver over 29,000 cars in March 2025.
The renowned Binoculars building in Los Angeles is now available for purchase. In New York, a luxurious quadplex penthouse located on Billionaires Row is being offered for a staggering $110 million. A leading insurance company has issued a warning that the ongoing climate crisis is poised to dismantle capitalism. Furthermore, a study has revealed a 7,000-year trend indicating that El Niño events are becoming increasingly frequent.
Slovakia has given the green light to the culling of 350 bears following a tragic incident where a man was fatally mauled in the most recent deadly attack. In India, the parliament has approved a contentious bill that aims to alter the management of Muslim endowments. The demoscene, a subculture focused on creating computer art and music, has been officially acknowledged in Sweden as part of UNESCO's cultural heritage.
The fourth installment of the Now You See Me series is being developed, with the third film officially titled, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Disney's live-action adaptation of Tangled has been put on hold indefinitely. Glenn Powell is currently filming a remake of Running Man in London, marking 37 years since the original film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Trump has implemented a 10% tariff on a global scale, accompanied by increased reciprocal rates. Bloomberg has remarked that this tariff rollout marks the beginning of a new era filled with risks for the global economy. The White House has stated that Russia and Belarus are exempt from these extensive tariffs because of pre-existing sanctions. In response, China has pledged to retaliate, accusing the United States of bullying after it imposed a 34% reciprocal tariff.
Greece has committed to allocating $27 billion for a comprehensive overhaul of its armed forces, focusing on advanced high-tech warfare technology. In the United States, Army planners are considering significant reductions, potentially cutting up to 90,000 active-duty soldiers from their ranks. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are planning to establish a combined military force to combat the ongoing jihadist insurgency in their region.
The Department of Defense in the United States has launched an investigation into Pete Hegseth's utilization of the Signal messaging app. It is reported that Waltz's team established at least 20 Signal group chats to manage crises globally. The European Commission is targeting end-to-end encryption and has suggested that Europol should be developed into an EU equivalent of the FBI. 5 VPN applications available in the App Store have been found to have connections to the Chinese military.
An Israeli military operation resulted in the deaths of numerous individuals at a shelter located in Gaza City, according to official statements. Hungary has announced its intention to exit the International Criminal Court during a visit by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Axios has disclosed that Jared Kushner's Abraham Accords Institute is set to merge with the Heritage Foundation.
The United States has implemented a prohibition on its government employees stationed in China from engaging in any romantic or sexual relationships with Chinese nationals. Radio Free Europe has reported that the United States has deactivated a satellite that was previously used to transmit Russian broadcasts. Furthermore, Standard & Poor's has warned that the tariffs imposed by former President Trump could potentially lead to an increase in bad loans in China, reaching levels not seen since the pandemic.
GPT 4.5 successfully completes Turing test with Persona. AI's conversational skills achieve unprecedented levels. In commemoration of Microsoft's 50th anniversary, Bill Gates has made available the original source code of BASIC for the Altair 8080. Indian technology startups valued at $100 billion are expected to pursue initial public offerings by the year 2027.
The Trump administration has dismissed the director of the National Security Agency, following a report by the Washington Post that a far-right activist had advocated for his removal. The Hill has noted that Trump has made history by granting a pardon to a corporation. The White House has decided to delay the garden tours scheduled for Saturday due to anticipated anti-Trump protests.
Canada has introduced restricted retaliatory actions against the United States, labeling President Trump's decision as a tragic event. In response to the unjustified tariffs imposed by the U.S., Canada plans to impose a 25% tax on American automobiles, as announced by Carney. Japan expresses significant worry over the U.S.'s reciprocal tariffs and insists on their removal. French President Macron urges European Union companies to halt their investments in the United States.
Trump's recent tariffs have been described as creating a $1 trillion barrier to international trade for the U.S. economy. Trump has expressed willingness to reduce tariffs if presented with exceptional offers. The European Union plans to focus on U.S. online services in response to Trump's tariffs, as stated by France. In China, Pinduoduo is set to invest over $13 billion across 3 years to aid merchants. Bulgaria's ruling administration manages to withstand a no-confidence motion initiated by a political faction aligned with Russia. Russia has prohibited Elton John's AIDS Foundation, citing the need to protect spiritual and moral values. Additionally, the pro-Russian leader of Bosnian Serbs, Dodik, appears in Moscow while facing legal charges in Bosnia.
The Michael Jackson biopic is expected to be divided into 2 films, which will result in a postponed release date. A live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon 2 is set to hit theaters in 2027. Furthermore, Bruce Springsteen plans to release 7 albums featuring previously unreleased music, titled Tracks 2, The Lost Albums.
Bonobos employ a form of syntax that was previously believed to be exclusive to humans. Marine microorganisms have been found to possess novel gene clusters that facilitate hydrogen production. The cells that cover your skin and organs have the ability to produce electricity when they are damaged, which could lead to innovative approaches for wound treatment.
The United States Department of Energy is extending an invitation to companies interested in developing artificial intelligence data centers on the grounds of Los Alamos National Laboratory and other federal properties. Google is reportedly in advanced negotiations with CoreWeave to lease NVIDIA's AI servers. The information has remarked on NVIDIA's predicament, as Chinese companies have swiftly placed orders for $16 billion worth of new AI chips.
Research indicates that an artificial sweetener commonly used in diet beverages may be associated with alterations in the brain that lead to heightened appetite. The United States Supreme Court has mostly supported the Food and Drug Administration's decision to reject applications for flavored vaping products. A challenging work environment might be subtly hindering initiatives aimed at boosting birth rates.
Intel and TSMC have recently engaged in discussions about establishing a joint venture in the chip-making industry. In a related development, OpenAI has reported that users of ChatGPT have created more than 700 million images within a single week. The use of AI bots has led to a significant increase in bandwidth usage at Wikimedia, with a surge of 50%.
Advertising is prohibited on all websites that are blocked in Russia, effective from September. Spotify informs advertisers that users are actively engaging with the app rather than passively scrolling. According to the New York Times, QVC has introduced its inaugural 24/7 live shopping streams on TikTok.
Mark Zuckerberg is actively engaging in discussions with Donald Trump to resolve the antitrust lawsuit filed against Meta. Concurrently, a U.S. Senate committee has initiated an investigation into Meta's strategies to penetrate the Chinese market. Brazil has launched an inquiry into Apple regarding its app tracking transparency policy, following a complaint from Meta. The New York Times has reported that the European Union is preparing significant penalties for Elon Musk's company, X.
Amazon has introduced a new AI agent designed to browse and purchase items from various third-party websites on your behalf. OpenAI and Anthropic are engaged in a competition to attract college students by offering them free access to AI technology. A DeepMind program has demonstrated its AI prowess by mastering the game Minecraft, successfully locating diamonds without any prior instruction.
Nature has announced that the Trump administration instructed the National Institutes of Health to conduct research on feelings of regret experienced by transgender individuals following their transition. YouTube has updated its hate speech policy to exclude gender identity from the list of protected categories. The Ultimate Fighting Championship has entered into a comprehensive sponsorship agreement with Meta, which is expected to strengthen the relationship between Mark Zuckerberg and Dana White.
The 2025 MTV Video Music Awards will be broadcast on CBS for the first time, while also being simulcast on MTV. The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers have been renewed for an additional 4 seasons, and American Dad is set to make a comeback on Fox. Furthermore, the NHL has secured a $7.7 billion agreement with Rogers, which surpasses the previous media rights contract by more than double the amount they agreed upon 10 years ago.
President Donald J. Trump announced a national emergency to enhance the United States' competitive advantage, safeguard its sovereignty, and bolster its national and economic security. He stated that foreign trade and economic practices have led to this emergency, and his directive includes imposing tariffs to improve the U.S.'s global economic standing and protect American workers. Treasury Secretary Bessent urged countries not to retaliate following the Comprehensive Liberation Day tariffs. In the U.S., the Senate criticized Trump's tariffs, with some Republicans voting to stop taxes on Canadian imports. Princeton University is contemplating the issuance of bonds on the same day that the federal government temporarily halts the distribution of grants. The Trump administration has delivered a list of demands to Harvard University, emphasizing the need to safeguard federal funds. Brown University finds itself under scrutiny from the Trump administration, following Columbia University, and is at risk of losing $510 million in federal grants.
Get your daily news fix from NewsSourceCrawler's latest edition, 04 April 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more.